Привет, I'm Chuck Olenek, a Ukrainian-American baptized with the name Yaroslav. That's also the name that I use in the Society for Creative Anachronism, where I'm known as Yaroslav the Persistent. I've been putting stuff together on Slavic and Eastern European folklore and mythology and history and culture for my YouTube channel, posting these videos, hoping that it will inspire people to start taking a look at this part of the world and maybe develop a persona around that. So I like to poke around in the dark places and tell the stories of things that I find there. And then I stumbled across an image of a Kukeri. Now, various cultures have their ways of welcoming the new year, scaring off evil spirits, and providing for a good harvest as winter ends and spring approaches. The Lithuanians celebrate the festival of Uzgavenes by burning a gruesome effigy, a female personification of winter. Russians and Ukrainians would call her Mara, who is a goddess of winter and death, before parading through the streets dressed as witches and goats and devils. The Romanian Capra festival is similarly symbolic of the new year. Basically, think about Dionysus. It's a celebration of death and rebirth that was practiced as early as 1600 BC, according to some sources. Performers dress as horned goats adorned with ivy, beads, and, according to the myth, in the skins of sacrificed goats. This figure mostly appears together with a goat known as Capra, Turca, or Breznaya. If you deal with the Magyars, Busoyaras is a blur of hellish masks and folk dancing, and some legends say that this originated as a trick to scare away the Ottoman invaders. Other sources say it's even older than that. In North Macedonia, this figure is known as Babari or Mechkari or Bearman. So now we're switching over to Bulgaria, so I'm wearing the hat that a friend of mine got me from Bulgaria. The Bulgarians have the Kukeri, and the precise origin of the word kuker, okay, that's a singular, that's unclear. It could be from a Proto-Slavic word, I hate that phrase, for evil spirit or chaser of evil spirits, which is its function. Or it might come from the Latin cucula, meaning hood or cowl. Whatever the source, it denotes a folkloric ritual monster, but it's a man dressed in an elaborate suit of fur and ribbons and feathers and beads, and one really scary mask. These Kukeri wear carved wooden masks with the faces of beasts and birds. There's heavy hanging copper bells or bronze bells around their waists, and they rattle as they dance, and they jump in arcane rituals intended to dispel the evil spirits which might otherwise bring loshtoya or ill fortune to a community. So again, the costumes cover most of the body, and they include decorated wooden masks of animals or scary looking stuff, and sometimes they're double faced, and there's large bells that's attached to a belt. So there's a couple of different times a year given. Around New Year's or before Lent, the Kukeri walk around and they dance through the villages to scare away evil spirits with their costumes and the sounds of their bells. And I think part of the reason why you might have two different times is, one, to scare away the bad stuff. That's probably like for the new year. And then, here comes the second part. They are also believed to provide a good harvest, health, and happiness to the village for the year ahead. So that might explain why the dancing and the ceremonies might occur around Lent. In some traditions, These home invasions took place in the morning. In other communities, they were performed after dark, as the story goes, so that the sun would not catch them on the road. After parading around the village, they usually gather at the village square to dance wildly and amuse the people. And Kukeri rituals vary from region to region, but remain largely the same in essence. The costumes, traditions, performances, even the date of the festivities vary from one end of Bulgaria to the other. In the west, the Kukeri arrive between Christmas and Epiphany, and in the east, Kukeri festivals often take place around what's called Sirni Zagovezni, a day of purification and bonfire ceremonies that's held on the Sunday before Lent. And you have to understand, in a number of Eastern European cultures, plowing was forbidden until about something like March 25th. So, and then a big ceremony, with women doing various things with plows, and this kind of fits with that. Now, as to how period this is, there's a bit of a debate, because there's a debate as to how old the Kukeri ceremony is. 19th century scholars considered the Kukeri to have been a pre-Christian event that was basically Thracian in origin, and theorized that this was a remnant of a Thracian cult of the god Dionysus. This view was encouraged by Bulgarian nationalists and folklorists in the 19th century, because that was a big time of, a sense of nationalism throughout Europe, who wished to lend Bulgarian cultural practices a sense of prestige by way of association with the classical world. However, modern scholarship basically says, yeah, that's real nice, didn't happen that way, and they consider the Kukeri, they're part of a general Balkan mumming tradition that emerged sometime in the early modern period, and that was influenced by Greeks and Slavs and Albanians and Turks and their practices. I, however, thought I would bring this up because this idea of wearing the masks and dressing up in the costumes, that fits in a number of Slavic practices around this time of year, also around Halloween or Day of the Dead. And I just happen to think the stuff looks cool, and I want to make a Kukeri mask and outfit. It'll be a fun project. So, until the next time I see you, do pobacenia.